there probably is a finite finish where you can't put up 42, and keep winning these games like this. You probably can't win big playoff games with defense that doesn't have a whole lot of bite to it, pass rush, coverage. Like, it's just hard. But to answer your question, Joe, can they keep this going playing defense like this? Probably.
Baldy, good morning. Joe Spadoni alongside Joe Shasky. Hope you had a Merry Christmas watching all the football this past weekend, the college, the pros, all of it. And that Sunday night football game, I mean, Baldy, was that the game of the year? Let's just start right there. Yeah. I thought the Rams-Seahawks one was, and I think this one might have topped it between the Bears and Niners.
Well, they look like two playoff teams with really good offensive coaches. And anytime, the quarterbacks are playing at the level that they played in that game, it's going to be entertaining. And so, we saw everything. We saw great throws. We saw touchdown passes. We saw quarterbacks making plays, extending plays beyond the X's and O's. We kind of saw it all. And then we just didn't know how it was going to end. San Francisco gets a stop, forces a field goal. Here comes Juwan Jennings on a perfectly designed throw against predicted coverage. And, Brock, he's not missing right now. I mean, he's just razor hot, but Caleb is really good. We hope – I finished that game, Joe, thinking I hope we can save that for the playoffs too. I hope we all can sit, in front of our TVs or if you're fortunate enough to get to a game and watch a game at that level, because that was fun.
It feels like Brock Purdy, a month ago had just an absolute stinker against the Carolina Panthers. But since then has been lights out. Movement, anticipation, extending plays, dimes over the middle, touch throws. I mean, he's had it all in the bag. Baldy, is he the hottest quarterback in football right now?
Well, Drake is really hot. Drake May is hot. They're not playing the schedule right now that the 49ers are playing, the teams that they're going through. But he's at the top of the leaderboard. But, regardless, I mean, Brock's doing it all right now. I think he's played great since he's been in the lineup, 3 years ago. But I think this is the best he's ever played. And, to think like they're still did that game without Trent and without, George, and the guys stepped in. They all stepped up. And so you didn't notice a drop-off. Tongas has been great. 5 touchdown catches right now. We didn't know who he was. No, but I don't know that anybody – you could say anybody. He's got 10 touchdowns. He's counted for 10 touchdowns the last 2 games. And so, I mean, just from that standpoint, they've won 6 in a row. Like, it'd be hard to stack anybody in front of Brock right now the way he's playing. And the way that he does it, it's just – I mean, he's just a surgeon about how he's going about this right now.
And what's more impressive for you right now, Baldy? Is it what he's doing with his feet or with his arm? Because a lot has been, I don't want to sweep this under the rug. A lot was made about the turf toe. We talked about it for weeks and weeks and weeks, and it's not even a thing right now. Hell, the fact that he threw a pick 6, Baldy, on the first play, and we didn't even bring it up basically at all yesterday, tells you just how well this guy's playing. But what's been more impressive for you watching him? Has it been the footwork and the mobility factor and rushing? Hell, I mean, Collinsworth was comparing him to Mahomes in some of his types of moves on Sunday Night Football, or has it been the arm?
It's a combination of both. But, his movement is there's a purpose behind his movement. It's not move to move. It's there to the initial read or the second read isn't there. Let me move and extend this thing and keep my eyes down the field and make something happen. And so I think his pre-snap reads are, that last touchdown, Juwan Jennings. I mean, you see TJ Edwards, as soon as he saw TJ Edwards turn to go clamp on Tongas, he knew it was Tampa 2, and he knew that there was going to be a hole behind him. Just that pre-snap read like that, to read it on the move, because nobody's showing you anything in this league really until the ball is snapped for the most part. And that's what they're going to see, in this weekend against Seattle and other defenses. But, his pre-snap and post-snap, his decisions are excellent. But his movement, even the touchdown to Juice, I thought he could have gotten Juice on because it was a great fake. It's a wind back. They run that wind back play. Juice is the eyes to the back. And, I thought he could have gotten to him in the flat right away. And for whatever reason, he didn't make that throw. And then he had to dance a little bit. And he danced, to the point where they all came after him, played point guard, and threw it to Juice, who's just standing on a postage stamp right there in the corner of the end zone. I mean, that movement is ridiculous. You can't create that. You can't practice that. It's just a feel that he has.
All right, so I'm looking at Kyle Shanahan and what they've done. You referenced no Trent Williams. I mean, this is remarkable. And then Jake Tonjes steps in for George Kittle, and he's just making clutch plays, especially on third down. They're now employing this kind of tail motion where they're getting Juice. I guess Navy used to run it back in the day, and Juice is kicking this angled motion, and they're running the ball between the tackles a little more right now, Baldy. What have you seen from Kyle Shanahan schematically? And do you believe this is one of his best coaching jobs overall? Because his candidacy for coach of the year has skyrocketed.
Well, in the short history of great coaches in San Francisco, from Bill Walsh to Kyle, and I don't want to leave anybody else out, but I mean, that's basically the great history, the great tree. I mean, Bill Walsh's playbook it was never a finite playbook. It just continued to build. And Kyle has continued to build. It's not stale. Like I broke down a play the other day that if I was TJ Edwards or Tremaine Edmonds, and I'm the middle linebacker for Chicago, and I got the motion you're talking about, okay, let's just call it midshipman motion, okay, whatever. And you're right. I mean, they run that, with the academies. And so let's just say here comes Juice across, okay, and so that it takes the linebackers who are skating to the strong side, following the motion. But here comes Tonjes back across the formation, cutting the backside and opening up the backside cut for McCaffrey. And they really didn't do much of that kind of cross motion. So, I mean, I was talking to Luke Kuechly about it on Sunday and some of the things that we're seeing in this league. And he was like, I could draw this up, Baldy. I know where my eyes need to go. I'm like, okay, if you're Luke Kuechly, fine, but nobody's Luke Kuechly. But it's not just window dressing. Like, there is a real purpose to these motions and movements pre-snap right now, and you have to reset very quickly and where the ball might go.
What about Christian McCaffrey? I'm looking at a guy right now. I think he deserves most valuable player votes at minimum. I mean, he's got 2,000 all-purpose yards. He has been the heart and soul of this team. Backup quarterbacks, linemen out, Kittle's been out, Pearsall in and out of the lineup all year. Yet the one constant on offense is Christian McCaffrey. I know yards per carry isn't high. Where would this team be without Christian McCaffrey, Baldy? He's unbelievable.
Well, I mean, the offense goes through him. He's got 400 touches. And I made the comment yesterday when I was studying the game that, I mean, is he real or is it just AI? Because artificial intelligence is like, you're supposed to just get smarter and stronger, as you start feeding it data. And, against Indianapolis, he had his longest run of the year, 24 yards. Last week, okay, against Chicago, 41 yards. Like those runs that we were talking about, Joe, weeks ago, we're going to see those runs anymore. Now we're seeing them, and that was without Trent in the lineup. We're seeing these runs. Like, I think there's more. There's more coming. Like, he looks like, for some reason, and we keep saying it's too many touches, 400 touches. He might, look, if this thing goes on a deep playoff run, he could get to 500. He's over 2,000 yards. He's going to be over 100 catches this week. The offense goes through him. And I don't care whoever you see, whether it's Seattle, obviously this weekend, or, in the postseason, they're going to have to contend with him. And you're going to have to contend with 25 to 30 touches in a variety of different ways. And, if you keep feeding him enough, he's going to break through. He's going to end up in the end zone like he's been doing.
Brian Baldinger joining us here on the Morning Roast, courtesy of the River Islands Guest Line, as he does each and every Tuesday at this time. Spidoni and Shasky breaking it down. Massive Saturday night football game for the number one seed in the NFC, Baldy. We got Seahawks-Niners, Sam Darnold. And get this, this is a crazy stat. I don't know if you saw this, Baldy. Sam Darnold is one of 5 players ever with back-to-back 13-win seasons. All the other guys are Hall of Famers. Yeah. You got Peyton Manning, Tom Brady, Aaron Rodgers, Brett Favre, Sam Darnold. Back-to-back 13-win seasons. That's incredible. I want to ask you this, though, Baldy, before we get to that. Niner fans are coming away from this game and saying that's a great win. Awesome. But my God, this defense. Can they really keep this up, outscoring everyone with this defense and go on a deep playoff run? Can they really do this?
Well, the offense keeps performing like it is. It can. They're going to see better defenses, though. They're going to see better offenses. But, you always want to take this Saturday night game and go, can we just advance this 1 month to the NFC Championship game in San Francisco? Can we just save this? I saw Sam Darnold on Sunday. He's such a good dude, man. He's such a good team guy. He learned a lot from Kyle. Learned a lot from that year in San Francisco. He'd been to the Jets in Carolina, and they were broken franchises. He didn't, and he was hurt, but like he really saw what stability looks like, what team building looks like, how you game plan a team, what practice has to be like for the quarterback, like how hard you have to be coached. And so then, he goes to Minnesota, and Kevin O'Connell is similar. It's not probably as hard on the guys as Kyle is. Like Kyle's, he's just a drill sergeant. But, and then he gets this opportunity in Seattle, and they won it, and they got Clint Kubiak with him, which is basically Kyle's offense, or to a degree of it. Don't want to say that they're calling it word for word, but it's a very similar tree. But regardless, like this is a cohesive team in Seattle. Like you could just feel it. Guys are coming up to me, Big Abe, Graves Abel. They're all, hey, Baldy, appreciate, the love and all this. And there's Leonard Williams, who just keeps getting bigger and stronger and faster with age. He's another guy that just defies everything. They're a complete team. Defensively, they're so good, and they're so deep. But to answer your question, Joe, can they keep this going, playing defense like this? Probably not. There probably is a finite finish where you can't put up 42, and keep winning these games like this. You probably can't win big playoff games with defense that doesn't have a whole lot of bite to it, pass rush, coverage. Like it's just hard, it's just hard to do.
Baldy, you bring up kind of this game that's coming up on Saturday. I want to go back to the Bears game in a minute. We will go back to it, but if you lose this game and you're the Niners and you have to pick yourself up off the bootstraps, travel somewhere, whether it's Philadelphia, Chicago, it might be Tampa, it might be Carolina, you'd have to travel somewhere. How difficult is that to get up off the mat after losing to your rival at home and having to scrape together and get ready for a wild card round game? The year that they won against the LA on the final week of the season, they went on the road to Dallas. They had all the momentum. They went on the road again to Green Bay, and they won that game on Saturday. But it felt like fourth quarter NFC Championship game against the Rams that week in the wild card round really caught up to them. Can they scrape themselves off the ground if they lose on Saturday and go out and face whoever they would have to face in the wild card round? I think it's really tough.
That is tough. It's tougher to go on the road, but they do get an extra day from playing Saturday night, so the travel day is made up because of the schedule this week. So that's an advantage if you have to go on the road right now. But I feel like that offense can go on the road. I feel like they can go into any stadium and they can operate silent count. They're going to get Trent back, and Kittle will be back in the lineup. Like they're going to be healthy. Offensively, I would think that it shouldn't make much difference, honestly. I was talking real quick, Joe. I was just talking to Lane Johnson yesterday in his barn. He's getting ready. He's trying to come back from a Liz Frank injury. He said he'd rather go play on the road. He'd rather play on the road. He said it's less distractions. The crowd, the home field, all that kind of stuff.
Philly for sure. I understand the fans.
But it gets loud. You can't hear. You're not going to hear anyways in these playoff games. Whether you're home or away, you're not going to hear anything. You're the right tackle. Like if you're McKivitz, you're not hearing any counts. Like you're looking at the center. You're looking at the ball. You're listening to your guard tapping the center, whatever. So I don't know. I feel like they could execute real well on the road.